Today is a reading. It's a message from your past on loved ones. So I just ask that all readings are for entertainment purposes only. Take what resonates with you and leave behind the rest. I am going to interpret how I see things first. Tarot, I still learn a little bit because they're more specific, but I like to do my own interpretation ahead of time. And then I'll read from the book most likely. I'm going to show you each deck that I will be using today. I'm going to start with Tarot, and it's the Anime Tarot by by Natasha Iglesias. I think that's how you say it. Iglesias. Alright. What are the cards you want me to pick from this pile here? Okay, so it's starting with 3 cards. I have not flipped them over yet. I want to see what comes out. Oh, excuse me. I want to see what comes out first. So first we have 7 of Swords. This makes me think of old wounds. 7 is usually considered a lucky number, but it makes me think of old wounds, maybe hurtful memories. Just off of a top interpretation of the sword. 4. Let's take a look at the book and see what it says for 7 of Swords. Uh-oh. Alright. Okay, so my interpretations, I said 7 of Swords makes me think of old wounds, and I also said that I like hurtful memories of some sort. And the other weird thing that makes me think of is like it makes me think of ancestors, or like it's someone who's passed away, who's older, who's passed away, maybe like a great grandparent or a grandparent is what it feels like. I think of a man, and I think of him being kind of more like a grumpy old man who is like not necessarily stuck in his ways, but gave everybody a hard time all the time, kind of personality is what I'm getting. So this is the card. I'll have to get a better camera eventually. So the swords, and the card, it says the attributes of the card. It says theft, deception, underhanded behavior, cheating, and sabotage. And it came in upright position, so those are the attributes of the cards. And then when I read further along according to the book that it came with, it says it signals that some sneaky, shady business is going down. You may feel robbed or betrayed. And before I continue, just that one sentence makes me think of a will. It makes me think somebody tricked this person in changing their will, or something was not followed in the will, and they want that fixed, is what I get so far. And then, let's see. You may feel robbed or betrayed, and if that's the case, this card, this card encourages you to, sorry, I lost my spot. And if that's the case, this card encourages you to look around you and investigate their motives. Who knows? I said second hand for some reason instead of just the hand, so the word or second hand in some way has some meaning to this reading. The hand that stabs a blade into your back could be theirs. Alternatively, this card can warn you to analyze the methods you're using to achieve what you want. So basically, you're being dishonest in your actions, and um, you need to take accountability for it, basically. And you need to reconsider your actions because that's going to be karma that's going to nip you in the bud if you don't reconsider. And then let's see. Are you the one who's being duplicitous and evasive? And are your intentions pure? Is what the Seven of Swords that I just played says. Okay, I feel satisfied with the interpretation of that card, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is the Three of Pentacles. Oh, I'll get the adjustment of this light the best I can when I can. Hopefully I get a better camera over time. But for now, you can see it, I think. It's better far away because my light is a little farther outside the camera. So, Three of Pentacles. It actually makes me think of a good harvest, just from the tarot card alone. Three usually makes me think of creativity. And so good harvest makes me think of the wheat fields, and it makes me think of farmers specifically. I'm hearing reap what you sow, and abundant blessings will come up beyond the horizon. So it's that phrase alone makes me think of it makes me think it's like you want something and you're trying to find it to get it, but it's far out of your grasp because you're looking too hard for it instead of finding it near or within you. Um, they're putting thoughts in my mind of somebody who's being greedy. I feel like I'm calling so many people out right now. um, so they're putting in my mind somebody being greedy instead of grateful. So spend time actually thinking about what you're grateful for. And they're now giving me an image that it's not necessarily that you're intentionally greedy. It's more like you feel like you've gone through a lot of hardship and you have a difficult time finding something that makes you feel at peace. And it makes me think that a passed on loved one is someone who you knew might have had something and you thought maybe you could be a part of that, and your intentions aren't technically pure because you have ulterior motives in it, but the um a part of you both feels guilty, but so like your heart feels guilty but your mind feels like this is the logical way to go. My suggestion and advice to you is to follow your heart instead. So Three Pentacles. I'm going to read from the book now because that was my interpretation of the card before reading the book. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a drink real quick. Don't judge me too hard. Oh, much better. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Three of Pentacles. Oh, I almost opened up right to it. Okay, so the card book's meaning and the actual tarot meaning, because it's based off of the tarot meaning. It's in upright position, so the attributes are collaboration, enterprise, recognition, and work. So that's interesting to me because the recognition part of the attributes of the book is kind of correlating with what I said in terms of like someone is like being unintentionally greedy instead of grateful. So, alright, if I go farther down, it says the Three of Pentacles is a card of hard work, collaboration, and investment. So this makes me think two things. That makes me think back to what I just said about you've gone through a lot of difficulties in life, but this also makes me think of trial and error, and for some reason it makes me think specifically of the stock market. I have I have no idea how the stock market works, but it's what it makes me think of, and that's popping in my head, and the word day trades is being whispered in my ear. Um, your talents and commitments, your talents and commitment are being recognized by others, and because of this, you're able to begin working on a meaningful project with support and investment of those around you. So keep in mind that I mentioned before even reading the card that I think you need to acknowledge the abundance you already have, and you're looking for it in the wrong place, and you also need patience for it to come and arrive. Because I said it's beyond the horizon. All right. Your goal can be achieved only if everyone is willing. Oh, whoops. Step up to the plate and put work in, including you. I didn't even read the correct spot, but I guess that was part of the message because, it's nothing's a coincidence. So, let's see, where was I actually? Okay, I said you begin working on a meaningful project with the support and investment of those around you. So whether this is an actual work project or a mission of personal growth, your dedication and efforts aren't going unnoticed. So yeah, it makes me feel like it's giving me an image in my mind's eye of a person dragging their feet, and it's also giving me the emotional burden of burnout and exhaustion, and you're just tired of it. So, um, if there's something you're currently doing that you don't like doing, you don't have to continue doing it, but instead of full on stopping, gradually go in a gradual decline and do that in a way where you find something you do like doing, or a job or a career, something else that you like more, you feel more secure and stable in it. I'm thinking of the zodiac Taurus specifically. You guys, often Taurus are very material and earth bound, like not possessive, but like possessions, material items, and just physical things. And I feel like some of you, depending on what you were used to, it's starting to really stress you out. I'm also getting an image of a person who overwhelms themselves all the time to the point where they overthink to an extreme portion of overthinking, and then they basically the thermometer keeps going up and up, and eventually it just explodes and then it's back down. That's the image I'm getting for some of these people. So I'm also hearing that it's a lot of family dynamics involved, and it makes me think of a big family. So it sounds like there's probably some controversy within the family itself in terms of what this passed on loved one is telling me to interpret and say. Um, it makes me think of like a big family, makes me think there's controversial things such as I'm being told to say whether you should go to the funeral or the wake or not. The answer is yes, you should go, regardless of any others' opinions of you, or even if, like, I'm hearing the word fallen out, even if you had a fallen out with whoever it was, spirit or the passed away person. I refer to spirit, but it's whoever you associate with, whoever, whatever you associate with. They're telling me that even if you had a fallen out, this person who's passed away, regardless of the results or things that are going on currently in the living realm, they want you to go to the funeral because that is a way for them to connect to you. I'm being told that you're going to feel them touch your shoulder while you're there. So I don't know if that's a meaningful thing for you in some way, but it makes me think of like this, like just like you're doing good, kid, is what it makes me think of. Whew, that was a mouthful for that one. Okay, so that was still the Three Pentacles. There was a secondary interpretation after the reading. Now I'm going to go into the third card of the tarot that I played. For those of you who are visiting, if some of you are new and just came in, I am doing an oracle and tarot card reading. Um, I like to call it an intuitive reading because I like to mix both of them together, and I'm doing, excuse me, messages from the past on loved ones. So far, I played Seven of Swords and the Three of Pentacles, and now I'm going to play the third card. Fascinating. So Four of Pentacles in reverse. This makes me feel like it's definitely money related. This makes me feel like some of you feel like you were gypped out, maybe out of assets or something. Something related to a past on loved ones, and you felt like you deserved more. I'm also seeing a car. I don't understand the significance, but they're showing me a car in my mind. A car was supposed to go to somebody specific, and maybe it didn't go to the person it was promised to. Is there anything else from this Four of Pentacles? I'm being told to tell you this message that's important. Um, even if you feel like you're not receiving the even if you feel like you're not receiving the money you should have gotten from the assets or when the person has passed away, I'm being told that you have a sustainable income to an extent. You have more than some other people. And then I'm being told to tell you to remind yourself of that because that's still abundant, and it's instead of thinking of a lack mindset, think of an abundant mindset. So that's the Four of Pentacles of my interpretation first, and I'm going to read from the book from the deck I'm using, the Anime Tarot by Natasha Iglesias. I think that's how you say it. So if I go, I feel like I'm gonna play two more tarot cards after reading this. Just play two more. And then, let's see what it says. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles showed up in reverse. So before I read the, oh, okay, yeah, it's got reverse attributes. Okay, so it mentions selfishness, stinginess, tendency to hoard, which is kind of closely connected to what I was just interpreting. Something about, they gave me an image of a car. I think somebody didn't receive the car they were supposed to receive in the will. Um, and I feel like it ended up going to someone else. It feels like it was a broken promise, because it ended up being a word of mouth instead of a written word. And then the reminder of the just remembering that you are actually in a very good place, but you're having a lack of mindset, and I feel like you were cheated to an extent for whoever this reading is connecting with. If it's resonating with you, that's great. If it doesn't, leave it be. Something else will come along the way. So reverse attributes: selfishness, stinginess, tendency to hoard. Are you terrified of losing what you have? You've achieved your current level of wealth, prosperity, and security thanks to conservatism and stringent money management. So you want to stick to this pattern to ensure your security and future prosperity. While this is understandable, the Four of Pentacles wants to make sure you're not leaning too far into greed, miserliness, and selfishness. Sorry, I'm not used to that word, so I said it funny. It came up in reverse, so I'm going to read the reverse meaning. I read both meanings in this because I feel like both meanings of the upright and the reverse position are important. So, when reversed, the Four of Pentacles warns that you have dipped too far into selfishness, stinginess, and desperate desire to hoard. So that's the part that's like, when I said it's not connecting, like you're forgetting that you already are abundant in some way. So this part that is saying you dip too far into selfishness, stinginess, and the desperate desire to hoard. It's like hoarding money is what I get at, which is probably why the zodiac Taurus was coming up for me previously. If you're in a precarious financial situation, Continue to observe, if not investigate, why you feel this need and try to be more generous and considerate of others. And that is definitely something that I mentioned, I think, in the Seven of Swords or the Three of Pentacles. I was talking about like someone who feels kind of like dripped out and someone who feels bogged down by chains and like um and someone who they feel treated unfairly is what I get out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna play two more tarots for this reading. This is a reading I'm posting on YouTube as well, so I'm doing that first. For those of you coming in saying hello, hi, nice to meet you, and welcome again for return people, because I don't know what to say at the moment. Okay, so I'm gonna twist this again because I feel like it needs to shift the energy. So I'm gonna play two more tarot on top of this one. I feel like the start from this past unloved one, whoever this is reaching out to. I feel like the start of this tarot was like to call basically to call you out on all your stuff. And then I feel like these last two I'm about to play is like something else, basically. So, alright. Oh, okay, hello. There's three cards I wanted to play. I only wanted two. So, since I've played three, that's six altogether, and six in numerology often is a significant of love, family, and relations. So, first card is the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands, the way it's stacked, it makes me think of family members. I did get the vibe that there was a large family, and they're all going in alternate directions. So the alternate directions make me think like alternate directions of life. And then there's one person who kind of shines more brighter than others from what I see. And then there on the bottom, there's another person who also shines, but they don't shine as brightly as the other one, so their light feels dulled in some way. So that's the first one for my interpretation of it. So I'm going to read the book now. Oh, I went too far. It's an upright position, so it says persistent burdens, endurance, upcoming achievements. Interesting. Okay. You're almost at a finish line, so don't give up. Okay, so that one line makes me think of what I just said about someone shines more brightly, but the other person who also shines is like not necessarily dull, but their shine isn't as bright as the other one yet. But it feels like it's like leading up. It's like climbing the ladder. Yes, you may be exhausted, and yes, you may be overwhelmed by the burden you're carrying, but you've made it this far. You can make it a bit farther. This card can mean that you've signed up for way more work than you're able to handle, or maybe that others have placed too much expectations on you. Either way, while things may feel unbearable, you're almost where you need to be. This is the final stage, and all you need is one final burst of energy, creativity, and effort to achieve your goal. Excuse me. Yes. Yep. Okay. So that was the Ten of Wands. I feel like the number 10 is significant too, or it could be 1, because 10 in numerology is 1, which stands for new beginnings. So, sure, I'm going to finish the YouTube video recording first, but I will be open to giving whoever wants some after it's finished recording. I'll keep you on the list. Okay, so next card that played is Four of Cups inverted. First, it makes me think of a row of lights. It makes me think of a hospital going down the hall towards the emergency room, like an operation room for surgery. It also makes me think of emptying your cup, like the proverb, emptying your cup because it's too full. And then Cups is usually related to emotions, and the what it makes me feel is that you have too much built up emotions within, to the point where you're being too bottled up and you're filling up too much or overflowing too much because of it. And four numerology stands for stability, and because it shows up in reverse, um, it signifies instability in my mind, in what makes sense to me. So it you're a wobbly cup spilling over is what I'm getting out of it, because there's too much. You have too much emotion, too much mental, and too much um, outside sources going on. Pardon me for a moment. Okay, and then we have Eight of Pentacles upright. I get positive vibes off. Oh, I forgot to read the book for the Four of Cups, which I'll do in a moment. But the Eight of Pentacles upright, it's a positive vibe that I get, an emotion and feelings from it. I'm hearing the word growth, and I'm also hearing growing, and I'm hearing the word investment. So invest in something to grow your worth is basically what I'm hearing. And I'm also being told to tell you to find your worth. There's something about you or on the inside that you know about yourself, and you know you deserve more, and you know you're worthy of specific things, but you're having a hard time showing it, expressing it, and setting those standards for yourself, is how I'm interpreting those two cards. So let me read from the book, from the deck, and then I'll move on to it's still one reading so far. I'm going to read from the book from this deck, and then I have three more decks I'm going to go through first for the oracle side of it. I just wanted to start with the tarot. So Four of Cups, let's see here. Okay, it's in reverse. So reverse attributes are readiness, reconsideration, and motivation. When reversed, the Four of Cups can hint that you might finally be ready to shake things up and reform the status quo. If there's something you'd like to change, get ready, because you're finally in a place to do so. Take this newfound energy and purpose and go forth. And then Eight of Pentacles, attributes: commitment, hard work, education, skill development, and investment. Oh, I said investment. I like when it connects. That's so fun. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles is all about hard work, commitment, and determination. If you're looking to build the foundation for better, more fulfilling future by mastering skills and putting in time and effort needed to accomplish your future goals. Whether that's investing in a healthy romantic relationship, managing budgets or projects at work, or investing in self-worth and personal growth. Oh, I said that too. Sorry, I'm shocked myself. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles shows that you're laying the groundwork for success. And because it's been organized as a road, because I tend to do roads the most, um, this is in the future, but it feels like it's like near to mid future. I would probably give it a range between 6 months to a year's time versus, like 5, 10 years later, because the future is so vague. So, okay, I'm gonna move into my next deck. And because this YouTube reading is based on messages from the past on loved ones, as I said when I started this, it feels like an old man, not necessarily stuck in his ways, but someone who gives everybody a hard time no matter what, regardless of any reason. And it feels like a great grandfather or a grandpa, but it's like an ancestor, like he feels like an ancestor way in the back. So, let me. Oh, the next deck is called Talking to Heaven by James Von Prague, and honestly, it's a mediumship card. Um, I I do describe myself as a medium because I vibe and connect with past on loved ones the most, especially with person-on-person readings. Um, all readings require an open mind and they're for entertainment purposes only. Anything you hear or take with you is purely your decision, and I am not liable. Um, as long as you stay open-minded, you might hear something interesting. If something stands out to you specifically, then that message is definitely meant for you. Alright, so I'm going to play these cards. It's actually my favorite deck that I own. Talking to Heaven is very straightforward in terms of the card itself, so I'll do my best to interpret what I also feel like it means. So the first card that has played that fell out is called There's No Such Thing as Death. And I'm being told that you should think about how even if you have a recent passed away member, you should think about, even though you're experiencing grief, you're going through the stages of grief, of course. You know, everybody goes through that, right? And they go through it in different ways. I'm being told you should remember that, like, when this family member has been comfortable with their life to the point where they immediately move on to the next side, that they want you to know that it's easy to connect to them. It's easy for you to communicate with them. And when you ask them to be there, they will be right next to you and they will be listening to you as you speak to them. So this first card, There's No Such Thing as Death, it's telling me to remind you, whoever you are, of this. I'm very drawn to the lightning in this card. And the way the people are positioned actually makes me think of the tarot card, the Tower. And the Tower is usually something that is not controllable and it's inevitable and it will happen. But once it happens, things will move on to the better setting. So I'm being told to tell some of you to hang in there. Alright, and we're gonna move on to the next. I'm gonna play, I think, 3 from this deck. I wanna play 3 cards from this deck. So, oh, well, alrighty. Which one first? That one, okay. Next card is I Am Not Dead. There's a dove, and I feel like some of you want me, like you want me to say it's a messenger bird, but that's not how I view the dove in this moment. It actually makes me think of a wedding, and it makes me think of purity and like innocence. It makes me think of innocence. I see the sunlight the most in this card right now. Some of you might be low on like vitamin D, or you need to go outside a little more often, try to get some sun in, or do something like that. And I'm also hearing you should fly your wings, and it makes me think of traveling. And some of you, I feel like, have not traveled before, and traveling is going to be a very significant and good life experience for you because you're going to see new things in different areas, and your curiosity of traveling is going to grow, and it's actually going to become an enjoyable habit for you over time. All right, next card is I'm standing right next to you. That one to me is a self-explanatory one, and earlier in this reading I said that somebody is gonna at a funeral or a wake or something that you weren't sure if you should be going to because of a falling out of some sort within the family. But that person is going to touch your shoulder. So I am standing right next to you, and me earlier saying that they can easily hear you if you're talking to them. I'm being told that some of them, even if you're watching me right now, or since this will be timeless, if you're watching me in the future, they're right next to you watching as well. And that's like a comforting thing for them and you in that moment, even though it seems a little scary. I have tears cleanse the soul, as the top card of the deck. Top card vibes, and this is basically the card telling me to tell you that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to cry, even if you have to do it alone or if you're because you're too embarrassed or uncomfortable to do it around others. I'm being told to this message is for a specific person. They want you to know that they love you and it was a good ride is a specific phrase. I don't know the relevance, but that is what I'm hearing. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next deck now. The Shaman's Dream. Once I grab it. Sorry, I forget to breathe because I talk too much. So um, I'm gonna shuffle. I'm gonna shuffle up this next deck so I can get the cards. What are the cards for this collective from Past on Loved Ones? Stranger and Curiosity. I was just talking about traveling new places, never been traveling or to these places before, and your curiosity growing. I feel like that's a confirmation card, honestly. I'm drawn to the water in the image, so I don't feel like I should say swimming. I'm also drawn to the pine trees in the image, so maybe you're going in an area that's full of forest, trees, rivers, beautiful areas like that. Um, I live somewhat in an area like that, and we're heading into mud season, so don't wear any nice shoes if you're going there because they will get muddy and dirty. Bring some boots. Um, it makes me think of like a wildlife retreat or just hiking, like hiking in the woods. That's what it makes me think of, honestly. If you go near water, be careful of thin ice. Also, always be careful of thin ice. Lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. This makes me think of there's a person at the top here. I'll show you. There's a person at the top here. Makes me think victory. um, it also makes me think of native blood and um, like Native Americans are very in tune with their ancestral spirit. It makes me think of that, and it makes me think of like a spiritual journey, I guess would be the word, or like a yeah, I think it's called a spiritual journey. You basically you leave to find yourself. That's the vibes I get from that card, and you're being encouraged to do so. And it feels like you're gonna learn so many new things about yourself, is what I'm hearing, which is probably part of the self growth that I got from the earlier part of the message. Will o' the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. I see the fairies. Fairies like to have fun, they're playful, and they like to find treasures and trinkets. So the fairies, I see them as being a significant part of your life in some way, whether it was a grandparent who had these little trinkets everywhere, um, shiny objects, easily distracted. I also see the sparkles kind of like going up from the fountain. For some reason, it makes me think of the Fountain of Youth too. So, what's the significance? Oh, I'm being told that you need more play in your life. You need to have more fun. The past on loved ones want you to learn how to balance not only work in life, but responsibilities and playfulness as well. Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. that feels like it's a healing process. It makes me feel very anxious, like severe anxiety. Certain things scare you in the world, and it's not for someone who's straightforward like myself can often be misinterpreted as someone as insensitive because straightforward people would be like, it's not as bad as you think. But when people suffer from anxiety, they think of every possible reason and thing that could go wrong, right? So it's hard to balance between that, and there's many things that scare you. Instead of jumping all in at once, because that's what's scary and that would probably backfire, start with something small that would you feel particularly brave and courageous to do to start off with. All right. I'm going to play one last card from this deck. Oh, I didn't show you what this deck was. It's called the Shaman's Dream Oracle for this one. It's by Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron Reed. I like that name. Colette's a pretty name. Alright, last card. Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. I feel like that's a confirmation card relating to what I was just saying. I also mentioned earlier some of you don't get enough sun or go outside enough, and you might be low on vitamin D. I feel like that's a confirmation card. And now I'm gonna play the last deck. Once I put this in here, sorry. Playing the last deck I took out for this specific reading, and this is the Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power deck that I have. I liked, because they're power cards, I like to read it specifically as the phrase on the bottom, because to me that one message is the most powerful message, and it's like the advice you need to listen to or hear at the time. I am a non-sugarcoating reader, so anything I need to say or what spirit wants me to say, I will let out. I will not sugarcoat it at all. So that's the vibe. So hopefully some of you resonate with that. If you don't, I'm not the one for you. Alright, let's play these cards. First card is Giving Creates a Flow of Health and Love. So this brings me back to the beginning of the reading. Some of you, or the people who it resonates with in the beginning of the reading when I started. This is basically saying when I mentioned you don't realize you're already abundant and you don't know what to be grateful for. So basically you're being ungrateful to an extent. This says giving creates a flow of health and love. Think of abundance, and instead of thinking about the things that you don't like. So for example, let's say in the will you got shafted of some stuff, right? So in the will, it didn't go as planned, and you're upset, angry, angry and mad are synonyms. Cinnamon. Um, so you're angry that the will didn't go right, and you're angry at the people who changed it. You're angry that the part that was meant for you never happened, and like all the reasons you're angry for. Instead of being angry, cultivate that anger into something productive. So show that you're the better person. Donate to a charity. Help someone who's fallen down get up. Do something that is kind to someone else in some way, which will also uplift you and your energy. Next card is Replace Pride by Knowing That Separateness is an Illusion. Distance is only a number, is what I'm told to tell somebody. Distance is only a number, it's never a burden. It may seem challenging, but it really isn't. We were blessed with many opportunities to travel, such as cars, buses, trains, planes, ships, and more. And we're all alive, sort of. This reading's about passed on loved ones, but technically they're still alive to me. So, and they're alive in your memories. Um, so, but this particular thing I was just saying that distance is a number is for somebody very specific who it's relating back to that person who's traveling. So maybe they're thinking something's really far away, but it actually is much closer than anticipated. I'm also seeing the bowl she's holding. I'm sorry, it's hard to see because I have the light set up past the camera to see me better, but I it's hard to see when I bring the cards close, but that's okay. I'm drawn to that bowl in her hand. It makes me think of food and eating, or maybe somebody here struggles with eating or eating specific things. I'm being told to tell you to pay more attention to your nutrition. Even if you don't eat a lot, make sure you get your proper nutrients in the little amount you do eat if you are someone who does that. You know, life gets busy. I'm being told or thinking specifically of traveling nurses. That's a word that they're telling me to say. Um, traveling busy, traveling nurses, nurse fields are incredibly difficult and busy. We're very grateful for the amount of work they do, but remember to eat. Like remember to get your nutrients. Take care of yourself first. In order to take care of others, you must be able to take care of yourself. And last card from this deck. I'm actually going to play two because I feel the energy at the top card of this deck too, so I'm going to play that last. Replace hatred through learning and wisdom. That's a confirmation card in my opinion. Replace hatred through learning and wisdom. I feel like it's self-explanatory and it makes me feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. I'm seeing the bowl again, so there's definitely significance, but I'm also seeing something new. For those of you who are spiritualists like me, I'm being told to tell you to cleanse your energy. It's time to smudge yourself. It's been too long. You've got too many gross energies stuck to you, and it's time to get rid of it. Also, ring some kind of bell or chimes or jingles of some sort, rattles, whatever it is. Ring all that, break up the energy before you do the smudging. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, I guess I was meant to. I meant to play. No, I'm gonna split the deck. I'm gonna split the deck. Yes, okay, that's better. Cultivating a well-rounded personality brings fearlessness. This is like a confirmation card towards the anxiety thing I was mentioning before. So to me that's a confirmation card for it. The image of the card makes me think of a lot of these cards make me think of natives, like Native American, a spiritual journey or self-discovery journey of some sort. Makes me think of body paint you would see on like warriors and so on. I see it's not in the card at all, but I see drums hitting the drums. That feels significant too. But yeah, so that is my reading for messages for the past on loved ones that I will be posting on YouTube. And I'm going to stop my recording in a few seconds and then I'm going to move on to the stream. I just want to clean up for a second. And for YouTubers, thanks for watching. Bye.